Melbourne, get excited. We're coming to your area of planet Earth. Rewind 80s mixtape show is here in our hometown. Saturday the 14th of September 2024, the Alex Theatre in St Kilda. Get your show info from rewind80sband.com. It's going to be a ripper.
The sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am the sun and air of nothing in particular. You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to belong, just like everybody else does. The sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am the sun and air of nothing in particular. You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? Everybody else does.
Hello there.
How you going, guys?
It's the 80s montage with Sammy and Jay.
It sure is. We're across town from each other tonight.
We
because
are.
it's too cold to go out.
Well, and we're fucking busy. I mean,
Yeah, nuts, crazy
nuts.
busy.
Nuts. And we've had such a big week in the world. My God.
Mate, so much going on.
Oh, what's going on? That's what Marvin Gaye said.
How's all of that, though, with
Yeah,
Trump?
look,
Unbelievable.
I don't agree with what he stands for, but I don't want to see him shot. You know?
Well, no, you can't see... I don't know. You can't see. It's the
I
world
found that
stage.
sad.
Anything that happens in America, yeah. Anything that happens in the US is on the world stage.
That's right.
And it's like, fuck, okay, who's actually going to represent democracy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, who is going to represent kind of, you know, the people being powerful and electing their sort of head of state and all of that. It's you look around the world, there's so much fucking violence going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, all it is like electing somebody to kind of lead the people. It's not really something to die for, you know what I mean?
No, that's right.
Fucking hell. Thank God we're not like that here.
Oh, I mean, look, he's really pulled his head in a bit since it's all happened, as you would.
Oh, he will win now.
I mean, the kid that had the gun was a typical American kid in a movie that was like Revenge of the Nerds meets, you know, sucking his mum's dick kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it was very scary because
God, yeah.
he was on the roof for a good 10 minutes and you know,
everyone
the
saw him.
Muppet saw him.
Yeah.
What's his name with the red
Everyone
hair?
saw him.
I said the Muppet saw him.
Fucking, what's his name?
Beeper.
Beeper.
Beeper saw him. Right.
I saw you put that up online during the week and I was pissing myself
I know,
laughing. It
right?
looks exactly like Beeper.
Because I didn't want to say what I meant and I put it up and the people that know me know what I was talking about. Because his hair was exactly the same. And, I didn't mind him. I think he was a real good watchdog, and I don't want to see that happen to him, to Trump. I mean, look, it doesn't matter what you stand for. You can't just wish that upon anyone. I've got heaps of people I could wish that upon, but I don't,
Yeah, no,
If
fucking
that makes
disgusting.
sense? Probably not.
Have you what? Yes, no, I get it. Have you? There's this movie that was recently released in the last couple of months called Civil War, and it's all about sort of America, like a modern day civil war in America, and it completely falling down and having this sort of like, almost like the last civil war where it was North and South, like a similar situation, and it was just so painful to watch and think like this is an actual reality. But can you imagine with the backing that Donald Trump has got if he had been assassinated on that day? And it was a matter of inches. It was a matter of an inch. You know what I mean?
Do you know astrology? I look into astrology a lot, and this is the issue that's been coming up. There's all these things on the two of them. And this was the stuff that they know was going to happen. And one of them believes that he turned his head to the right because his guardian angel said, turn your head to the right. Because if he hadn't have done that, that would have been
Dead. Literally an inch to the right, and it would have blown the side of his head off.
And that's what Maddie keeps thinking as well. Like, imagine if we had have been witness to that.
Gotcha.
I just, and look, we are in a world today where you can't really say much anymore, which means everyone gets away with shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As frustrating as it is, in the 80s we all said stuff. We just went, you that, you're that, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like you have to act a certain way.
Yeah.
I find that's the trouble of the whole world, because what's happening is no one's accountable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So everyone's getting away with it. And then it goes to the next level where people are just killing each other because they know they're not accountable and they can get out of jail. The police are doing their job, but the courts system not doing their job,
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just going to
absolutely.
get worse. We do need a reset of the world. But look, another thing that we want to talk about today is Shannen Doherty.
Shannen Doherty passed away on July 13.
I think I was more traumatised about that.
I was too. I was really saddened by Shannon's death because I don't know about you, but it just felt like part of my youth had died.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
She was a fucking goddess to me, like in high school.
And
she was just huge, amazing. She's actually a fantastic actress.
She is a fantastic actress.
And she's she was a tiny chick, like when she was playing Brenda, when she was in Heathers, when she was playing sort of Brenda Walsh on 90210. She's a tiny girl, but she's like completely empowered, knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
Was uncompromising, and this is how she sort of, I guess, developed the reputation of being a bitch,
100%. Can't be a strong woman anymore.
We had a couple of deaths sort of in and around this date, which were big 80s icons as well. Richard Simmons died, I believe, on the 11th of July. Very sad as well. Richard Simmons, the sort of, diet and exercise guru, American diet and exercise guru. And also Shelley Duvall, the amazing lead actress from The Shining, my favorite horror movie. She also starred in Popeye and a couple of other things in the 80s, but like memorable from The Shining, of course. She was incredible with Jack Nicholson. So, some big sort of a big week for these iconic deaths and very nearly another one, So
and Benji from Elf.
Benji from Elf as well. This is the other one. Very sad.
That's right. So we're going to look at a couple of things. We'll start off with Shannen Doherty.
Yeah.
I've been watching Ten Play.
I'm Jay Jovi.
I'm Sammy Hardon.
This is the 80s montage.
Yeah, we said it at the start.
Go ahead. Did you?
Yeah, I said it's Sammy and Jay, the 80s montage.
Oh, did you?
all right.
Did you do me for me? Did you? Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I
Oh,
snuck
lovely.
in.
That's why I didn't
Snuck
remember.
in.
Oh, yeah, you snuck
That's
in.
what she said.
Benji from fucking Alf. Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Now, Shannen Doherty, I've been watching 10 Play. It's so funny. For the last month, I've been binge watching 91210 or whatever it is. I can never pronounce it. And the show that I watched the other day, I can't watch it because Dylan's dead as well. I get quite triggered by that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm going to have to watch it when they've both gone. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm going to start again tonight because the story writing in that show is brilliant. And Brenda is brilliant. Dylan's brilliant. They're all 35 in the shade. They're not kids, but we loved it because she's my age, Shannen Doherty. Like I wouldn't have thought that as a kid. I would have thought there's no way that girl is not old or the same age as me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I remember sort of when it started in 1990, I remember it sort of like hitting the screens. She was the only face from the cast that I was familiar with because she had done Little House on the Prairie as a much younger girl. But she had been in Heathers as well, sort of 2 years previous. And that was massive. That was huge. She was fantastic. She was a real standout in that as well. And I mean, that was like a big film role for her. That was a big sort of a standout film role for her. She also did a series called Our House, which I can remember from really well as well. She was fantastic in that. She was really strong in everything she was in. But I remember seeing her in 90210 and like going, oh, this chick is awesome. Like she for me was the hook into that show because I had loved her and all this other stuff.
Yeah, so I first saw her in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I'm pretty sure it was Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But you don't realise the body of work she has actually done. Like in the 80s, she was constantly in stuff. She did Magnum PI. She did 21 Jump Street. She did so much stuff. She just had an amazing career. And unfortunately, we lost her to breast cancer. Now, this episode I watched...
She did a lot of bit parts.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah.
So this episode I watched the other night of Beverly Hills was where the three girls, it was Kelly, Brenda, and who was Horsey? Donna. The gap in those tits is not good. I would
That's
just
crazy,
sue anyone
isn't
that
it?
did that to me.
She can afford much better.
She could have had 3 cocks in. Oh, no, horrible. Anyway, I thought she could too. Anyway, so they talked about breast cancer at school and they were all feeling themselves in front
Checking
of each
their
other
boobs.
to check, and she found a lump, Brenda
right.
Walsh. And it was horrific because I'm watching this going, oh, my God, she's living this now.
Yeah.
And then she goes to her mum and the mum says, we need to go to the doctors. The mum's just recently lost her sister to breast cancer. So this whole the whole series or the show was about, that episode was about breast cancer and just checking yourself and making sure that you check for lumps even at the age you're at. You know what I mean? Like you can have a lump at 13, 14. You don't have to be 45 or anything like that.
No.
You know? So
I was
that
checking
was
my breasts
episode
after watching.
Hey?
I was checking my breasts after watching that show.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't remember it. I didn't
like
remember
everything that they went through in the show, we went through. They made us aware of things that we had not even articulated yet. Like I remember, like it was one of the first times I heard about date rape. Like, girls going out on dates. And look, to be honest, they didn't call it date rape.
Now you
in
go
Australia.
out and buy the pills.
Yeah, exactly right. They didn't call it date rape in Australia. That was just kind of what happened. If you watch like bloody Puberty Blues or anything from the 80s, like you had to be really, really careful going out with guys at that time because it was just the culture that if you were saying yes to going out on a date with somebody, you were kind of suggesting that you were cool to hook up as well. It may not have been the case. And a lot of young girls were kind of like doing things that they weren't consenting to during that time and coming away feeling really awful and not knowing why, like not even realizing it was an issue, you know. And so it shows like 90210, which spoke about this stuff for the first time for many people.
That's right. So we're going to look at this clip, and we did talk about the intensity of her acting, and you're exactly right. The way she was personality-wise, you can see it in her acting. She's quite intense. This is a scene she does in 21 Jump Street, and it's just fantastic.
Say jump down on Jump Street. Say jump down on Jump Street.
Maintenance engineer. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Will you do one for her?
Do what?
Just check it out. You're gonna love this. Please. Double fish. I love this guy.
Mom and Dad wouldn't listen to what was right.
Right. What do you know about right? You turned us in.
I was helping them. They were hurting themselves.
Oh, give me a break. That's straight out of Nancy Reagan BS at school. I can't believe you fell for it.
They were ruining our
No,
lives,
you
too.
mean they were ruining yours. You know, I was fine, you little jerk, but you couldn't have things your way, so you wrecked it for everybody. You gnarled pig. What, you think you're helping me?
21 Jump Street. So Shannen was the second one fighting that little boy. You can
She was
just
on
hear
the
in her
mark.
voice. Yes, she
Yeah.
was. She was.
She just
I
the
love
the
her.
only way to be like that as an actor. I mean, it doesn't. Talent might create like little sparks of moments. You know, you might look amazing on screen for moments, but to be consistently fantastic in everything like she was, you have to be really well prepared. Like she, there's obviously a high amount of preparation involved behind the scenes. So like, when she sort of later developed, I guess, a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a brat. We were talking about the Brat Pack just last week. When she later sort of developed this reputation for going out and partying and getting drunk and rolling up to set drunk and everything, it was complete rubbish. She was completely like so prepared on the day and very, very professional. It's the only way that she could have achieved the consistency that she did in her career.
Well, that's it. And Americans work a lot harder on a set than what Australians do. I know that sounds shit.
100%.
But they don't have
No,
breaks. They don't have meals. They just run lines 4 or 5 times and then they do the scene. I mean, when I did Wentworth, we did it once, twice, tops, and then that was done.
Yeah.
Americans tend to
100%.
go and do a scene. What was the thing I did that was American? With the hole in the bloody ground.
Oh yeah. What's that called? Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought I was going to die that day. It was about 40 degrees. And
Yeah,
we
they
were
work them hard.
Waiting for something to eat. They gave us no water, nothing. I couldn't believe the treatment, and I think Aussies complained about it because we were going to faint. It was 40 degrees, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. They weren't even giving water out.
They do work really hard. It's a very competitive industry there. It's not as competitive here. It's not as competitive in the UK. Terms of, there's going to be another 100 films coming out that month kind of thing. And so they do work them very hard. Everybody sort of really has their fucking ass down, like working hard. And James Cameron often talks about it. James Cameron, the amazing film director, when he obviously filmed Terminator and the early films in his career in the US. But when he went to do Aliens, the sequel to Alien, That was filmed in the UK, and they were notorious. The Brits were notorious for wanting to sort of break and have cups of tea and stuff like that. And he was like, no fucking way. We keep going until I'm satisfied that we've got the job done. You know what I mean? So it's a very different culture there.
Really different. Now, the next clip I've got is from one of my all-time favourite movies. This is where I first saw Shannen and absolutely adored her. Here she is.
So when I finally get asked to dance, I'll know what to do.
My sister dances with Doris. She's the original slam dancer.
He should talk, Daddy. He's gonna dance on TV.
Maggie?
Care to clue me in?
I auditioned for a dance contest.
And he made the finals.
I was in a hurry to get going when I was your age, too. But you gotta have a skill, Jeff. You gotta start earning a living sooner or later. Look, trade school was good enough for my father, and it was good enough for me. That's not funny.
Don't throw a mental, Dad.
Don't throw a mental, Dad. So that's Maggie. She played Maggie in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and she's speaking to her father about her brother getting on dance TV, an audition.
Awesome.
She was fantastic in that because she was like super cool and all excited like a kid.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling she might have been the same age as everyone else. I don't know. You never knew with Shannen.
I think because she was quite petite, she made a career out of playing younger.
Yeah, that's right. And she had a good face, good skin, and just that young sounding voice, very pitchy, young sounding voice, which always you get away with.
Very youthful.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Look at these movies as well and go back to them. I go back to Girls Just Want to Have Fun probably once every year. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Now, can you remember her being in straight after Girls Just Want to Have Fun? She was back into TV with a show called Our House. Deirdre Hall played her mum. And it was basically about the mum and the three kids moved back in with the mum's father because his son had died or something. You know, there was a death in the family. And so they were all moving in together to kind of be around each other. She was phenomenal in that. She was amazing. She played the eldest sibling. And she was Chris Witherspoon. I remember because it was the first time that I heard the surname Witherspoon, and I was like, "Fuck, Americans have weird surnames."
You mean Reese?
No, baby. Chris Witherspoon is the name of the character.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they're the Witherspoon family, and it was the first time I heard that name. So she was phenomenal. She really stood out. I used to love that show. It must have played in Australia on the weekend, like in the sort of afternoon on a weekend, around the time of Young Talent time.
Wow.
In and around that time.
I never saw it.
That's when I caught it. Yeah, that's when I caught it. And I think I had a bit of a crush on her from that show.
Oh, yeah, you would.
She just had, I don't want to say bitchy because she wasn't bitchy. She was just sort of assertive. She was stern. Even as a kid, she was sure. You know what I mean? And that is like such a rare quality to see in Hollywood during the 80s, is to have these young, assured women that weren't a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right. It's very hard to work out why people say things about people until you actually work with them and then you work it out for yourself, because it can just be a whole lot of lies. And I've often thought that, and then I've worked with them and gone, nah, they're right, you know, or I've gone, no, they're wrong, you know. Scott Kahn used to get that a lot, and when I worked with Scotty, we had the best friendship, and we were in bands together, and he would book our band, and I could ring Scotty any day of the week, and we don't even know where we're at with each other, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could speak to anyone and say, oh, in the 80s it was this and he was that. Dude, it's actually, I don't know, it's a tricky one. And I think Shannen would have been the girl to get the job done. But I've met singers that are that intense and they sing like fire, you know?
Yeah,
They
fuck yeah.
just sing like fire because they've got this energy about them and they're really timid and stuff like that, you know?
Usually they have a certain genius about them professionally, and it's very difficult for them to suffer fools. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult for them to tolerate people who are just not up to speed. You know, I get it. You know, and you kind of like you look at sort of casts like 90210. She was like a seasoned actress from being a child actress amongst some people that were getting their first gig. Like it was really their first acting gig. And it was probably it potentially like hugely frustrating for her.
Hold that thought. Let's go with that. A clip from Beverly Hills. This is Callie and Brenda when Brenda finds out Callie's been pashing Dylan.
Oh my God. Brenda. I can't believe this. I can't believe you would do this to me. You said Dylan could go out with whoever he wanted. And you said you were my best friend. What a joke.
Hey, give it a rest, Brent, all right?
You know, if you're trying to make me jealous, Dylan, it won't work.
Hey, you're the one who broke up with me, all right? Don't you ever forget it.
So how long has this been going on with you two?
Since about 6:30?
You know, Kelly, if you're trying to lose your bimbo image, I honestly don't think this will help. Look, Brenda.
Listen, I gotta say something here. Obviously, there's a lot of history between all of you, but hurting each other is not gonna accomplish a thing. By the way, I'm Rick. I'm Dylan. Brent tells me you're a hell of a tour guide, Rick.
Can we go, please?
Wait. Why don't we all just sit down and try and talk this thing out? I mean, I know it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, but you guys have known each other for too long to just blow it off like this.
I am not a bimbo, okay? Whatever you say, Kelly. But I was always taught that if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, go to hell.
There's some script writing there. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, I don't get
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
Is it pretty cutting lines like the if you're trying to shake your bimbo image, Kelly, I really don't think this is going to help. So
Yeah,
fucking
amazing.
good and
Amazing.
just delivered so well. Like she let the lines she didn't complicate the lines.
No.
And
Very
she
natural,
had such a
organic.
consistent character. Yeah, like really great. Really, really great. They were such a good what am I trying the word that I'm trying to think of?
Dynamic?
No, the cast. What do they call that? Ensemble cast. They were such a good ensemble cast. You know, they're like beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that Aaron Spelling really did do well is pull groups together and like create an amazing frisson between, you know, certain personalities and like just the energy between Jenny Garth and Luke Perry and Shannen Doherty and Jason Priestley was phenomenal. And then like
it was.
all the other supports were just amazing as well, you know. Not so much Donna.
Not so much Donna. Yeah, look, Donna was a little bit horsey, but Andrea was all right. But she was always too diplomatic for me. I got bored of her.
Fuck. I had a relationship in high school with a chick. We were best friends, and mate, did it resemble the bloody Andrea Brandon relationship.
Right, okay. Why was that?
She appealed, I guess, to the nerdy side of me, and I kind of like was wanting to explore the bad boy side, you know what I mean? But she kind of really anchored me towards the good side of myself and, you know, encouraged me to do well at school and all that kind of thing. And there was just sexual tension the whole way through high school, and it wasn't until we finished high school, year 12. She left town, and on the night before she left, we didn't shag or anything. It was actually really lovely. It was a really lovely goodbye. Nothing happened, but it was very, very intimate. You know what I mean? Like we kissed and stuff like that. But we weren't sort of sexually interested. We knew that we were never going to see each other again. And we were just sort of saying goodbye at that age. You know, it was more about like kids, friends saying goodbye to each other than anything sexual. But I mean, when you're 17 and 18, everything's sexual, you know? So
Yeah, well, that's right.
I remember really seeing myself in that kind of Brandon Andrea thing happening with this girl. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's right. And in those days at school, you wouldn't do anything sexually if you knew they were going away either. It'd be too much.
No, that's right.
Because you'd want more.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to not do it. Oh, it was just so involved. It was exactly what this show is, you know.
See, I always
Sexual
thought I was going to get
tension.
married at that age.
Oh,
I always thought I was going to get
really?
married because
Jesus.
my brothers were that much older than me at the time. They were getting married. So I was like, all I wanted to do was be like them, be successful like them and, you know, start a family like them. And you know what I mean? It wasn't a few years later that I really woke up and I was like, oh, fuck this, you know. But at the time, like every girlfriend I had in high school, I thought, yeah, we're going to move in together. We're going to get married. Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking ridiculous.
Wow. I had one.
Hey, couple of terms of
Yeah.
getting married, she had a really interesting personal life, Shannen, as well. She was married
Yes.
quite a few times. She was
Really?
engaged to Max Factor's heir, Dean Factor. They broke up. Apparently, he was sort of beating her around a little bit. She was married to Ashley Hamilton, the son of George Hamilton. You know, like George Hamilton from fucking Godfather and all of that.
Yeah, right.
She was also married in 2002 to Rick Solomon, who was the poker player fucking loser who made the sex tape with Paris Hilton and released that. So she's had a couple of relationships since then as well. She also lost her house in 2018 in the Woolsey fire, which was the massive big bushfire that swept through the Hollywood Hills and like claimed all of the houses of all the stars and everything. She lost a house during that as well. I never knew that.
Wow. Well, let's have a look at another clip. This is Heathers, which is a cult 80s movie.
Gotcha.
This is a part where Heather is getting everyone to sign a petition.
Heather? Veronica. Color me stoked, girl. I've gotten everyone to sign this petition. Even the ones who think Big Fun are tuneless Eurofags. People love me. You know, you haven't signed yet.
People love you, but I know you. Jennifer Forbes told me the petition she signed was to put a hot tub in the cafeteria. And Doug Hilton said...
Some people need different kinds of convincing than others. Look, just sign the petition, okay?
Don't talk to me like that, okay?
Look, it was JD's idea. He made out the signature sheet and everything, so why don't you just sign it?
No.
Jealous much?
Heather, why can't you just be a friend? Why are you such a mega bitch?
Because I can be. Veronica, why are you pulling my dick? Do you really think if Betty Finn's fairy godmother made her cool, she would still hang out with her dweeb?
I love, and I do this myself, when women talk like they've got a dick. because it's hilarious. Because
What do you mean?
well, like I've said to certain people that really annoy me, will you just suck my dick? You know, and I've gotten it from somewhere. Matty thinks it's hilarious when he hears that.
It's
You
fucking
know.
hilarious. Guys don't know what to do when
No,
guys don't know what
they
to do when
get
they hear that.
really scared.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
You know.
What's wrong with this shit?
Especially if I've had a couple of drinks. But yeah, I love that. I think that's something that, I don't know, I've done it. I don't know. It just comes out of your mouth. And that's the thing. The intensity that she, you know what, and a lot of these characters that she did probably molded a lot of strong women that were
Yeah.
kids, you know.
Yeah.
Because the thing with women is you put two together that don't like each other, they're so bitchy. And it's like this testosterone thing that happens with women where they've got to prove each other to themselves. I've never been interested in it, but I've had it with other women and it just bores the shit out of me. I'd rather have that with a man than a woman because a woman doesn't think logically and go, oh, maybe she could be right. They just want to fight you like cats, you know. So really interesting sort of thing. And Heathers is a huge, I mean, go back and watch Heathers. It's an incredible 80s movie and she's fantastic in that. And that, of course, was Winona Ryder with her.
Yeah, Winona Ryder. Some incredible young actors, of course, sort of Christian Slater. It had a very young cast and they were very talented. And it's sort of the writer at the time, Daniel Waters, was sort of inspired by the films of John Hughes, but he wanted, because this was the later part of the 80s coming into the 90s, things were getting a bit more cynical, you know, like the gloss was wearing off and you going towards sort of grungy sentiments where they wanted to sort of break things down and talk about the dark side a little bit more. So this is why the movie has such a dark undertone and it does have a John Hughes quality to it, but the ending is very, very dark. And Winona Ryder's agent famously begged her down on hands and knees to not do the film. Didn't want her to do the film. Said it was going to ruin her career because I think she had just done Beetlejuice and she still had the black hair and all of that. And the agent was like, you're doing too much of this dark, weird stuff. This is going to be the nail in the coffin. She got the role. She got the fucking lead role and she ended up doing it because she loved it. I think Brad Pitt got turned down for the role of JD. Christian Slater ended up getting it. There were a heap of other people that were like all of the young actors you can think of the time read for this and got offered roles in it. It was quite incredible. But I've been really looking at a lot of these teen movies ever since we talked about the Brat Pack last week.
Yeah,
and
100%, yeah.
This one had a monumental impact on me growing up. Huge impact.
Well, it's a cult classic, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You wouldn't call Pretty in Pink a cult classic, but you definitely go, this one is, you know.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
In saying that, watch them again, guys. Like it'll be, get some popcorn, make a bit of microwave popcorn and just sit on your own, especially if you're on your own a lot, which I am a lot, and just watch the movie. And it's nostalgic, but it's also reaffirming how far we've gone backwards in today's world, I think.
Yeah. And that is made very clear when you watch the remake of Heathers.
That's right.
And they try to be very woke with it and stuff, and it just fucking ruins it.
Horrible.
It ruins it.
Yeah.
Like the thing that was great about this movie, the thing that was great about Heathers is like, yes, it was glossy and it was like aimed at kids, but it was dark. It was wrong. They weren't condoning all the wrong things that they were doing. They were trying to be edgy. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is actually edgy these days?
No, that's right. Oh, my God. Now, I may need you to come and see Jim Jeffries with me because Maddie can't come.
Oh.
Can you imagine the material from last week, how nuts he's going to go? because it was
Fucking
gun
hell,
control. He's always gun controlly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just going to be hilarious. So if you want to come, Matty
Fuck
can't
yeah.
go because he's away and he's had to buy a ticket to go to Geelong to see Jim. He's got fifth row on his own.
Oh.
But I need someone to go with me, so I'll check that date with you.
Fuck
'cause
yeah, I'll come.
Yeah, yeah.
And
'Cause,
Matty,
Matty
what
goes,
is Matty
"Go with-"
just going to like sit there fucking pulling his put in the fifth row by himself?
Well,
is he?
we both love Jim, we'd do anything. So, Matty, we couldn't get another ticket. They're very expensive, but worth every cent. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, that'd be amazing.
It's going to be fantastic. Let's go on to talking, rest in peace, Shannen. We love you. And what a waste. 53. It's a waste. But
Hey, before we jump off
Yeah,
Shannen for a
sure.
sec, can I just unpack one thing? At the beginning of the show, we played How Soon Is Now, right? The Smiths.
Yep.
This song came out in 1985 at the beginning of the year in January. Huge song, really big, gothy English track. I absolutely love it.
I
want to
do it.
Oh, God, I want to do it.
Let's
Remember
do
we used
it.
to, Matty, yes. Remember,
I know, it was
It would work
amazing.
in the theatres, babe. It will work in the theatres
work
so
in
well.
the theatres. We could make it dark,
Fuck yeah.
gothy.
Yeah. Now, we played it at the beginning of the show because Shannen was in Charmed. How Soon Is Now is famously the theme song to Charmed, but not the Smiths version. The Smiths version was recorded by Love Spit Love. Love Spit Love was an offshoot band from Psychedelic Furs. When the Psychedelic Furs went on like an extended break in about 1982, Richard Butler, the lead singer, formed Love Spit Love, and Love Spit Love recorded How Soon Is Now. That's the version that you hear at the beginning of Charmed. So even though sort of Charmed was the 90s, it still has a really strong 80s reference because of sort of Psychedelic Furs being Love Spit Love, I love both versions.
I think it was quite brave to use that song as an opening of a show.
100%.
I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, gotcha. It fit, didn't it? It was incredible.
It fit big time, and it was mysterious, and it was sexy, and everything those girls were. I mean, I
Yeah.
love Samantha. What's her real name? Alicia?
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, Elisa Monaro. God, how's my language? I love her Monaro that she drives. It's great. We were talking about Monaros today in Hawthorne. Because we just camp like
they
that.
famously didn't get on, yeah? Like she sort of got the Shannen Doherty got the chop from the show because they did not get along at all. And Shannen had previously been fired by Aaron Spelling. And when sort of Alyssa Milano came forward and said that she had a problem, it's like Shannen already had that kind of baggage that like she was trouble. And so they allowed Shannen Doherty to say that she left the show even though she was fired for a second time by Aaron Spelling. So there you go. Poor bitch.
Do you know, I'll tell you something funny. So on the weekend, Maddie and I went to see Jackson play his solo gig, Jackson Freud, James Freud's
Oh, great.
son. And we just caught up with them, with Ren and with Harrison and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we go there and Sally, James's ex-wife, says, oh, this is Sammy and she's now with Pseudo Echo. And I went, oh, no, not anymore.
Yeah,
and
not
she went,
anymore.
She goes, why didn't you like the hats? And I just fucking pissed myself laughing.
That's the fucking best.
The best comeback ever. I was
and
like,
the answer is
well, no, I
no.
didn't. You're right. Yeah. And she went, oh, I've heard all about it. She goes, we all hear about it.
I bet.
But it was embarrassing because I was like, oh, no, I'm not in that anymore. We've left that alone. And Sally was just the comeback. Sally's always been so dry and funny. And just a fun day, just getting into their energy. They've got such a good energy, that family, and for what they've been through. And that was the first
Very
thing
funny.
she came out with. And I was just like, I couldn't
didn't
even
like the
laugh. I
hats?
actually, did you get over the hats? And I was like, well, there you
That's
go.
fucking brilliant, mate.
It
That's
was
awesome.
so good. Should put it on a T-shirt.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh, good on her.
But look, it was pretty funny. So we had a good time together because Sally and I get along really well.
Yeah. She's
Well,
awesome.
James Freud, to me, James Freud, without a doubt, was the best thing for Maddie ever. Like, he just treated him with respect. He was like no one else that he'd worked for.
Oh, how much do we love him? He was
Yeah.
just fucking incredible. Like, such an
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
bloke.
And
I knew him
just-
to a much lesser degree, but he was just so beautiful, so phenomenal
beautiful.
as a guy.
As beautiful as his hair. And he was true to Maddie. He was honest with Maddie. He cared about Maddie. And not like in the puppets, like that was just a joke. And because James rang me when I think it was at Fountain Gate, and he's going to me, "You have a boyfriend that plays keyboards." And I'm like, "Who's this?" He goes, "It's James Freud." And I knew it was straight away because I remember when he was interviewed, you know. And I said, "Yes, I do," and he's amazing. And he didn't even question the fact that I said he was amazing because we don't have a relationship where we go, "Oh my God, my boyfriend's amazing." Like,
it's not that
sometimes we
fucking,
don't
like-
agree with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
not
you're the
that
same
like
with Mika.
LA bullshit.
That's
it's not
right.
that LA bullshit. Oh yeah, oh my God, you've got to see it. It's amazing,
Yeah,
fucking
you
all of
know?
that shit.
Like if
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
something shit on stage, Maddie will go, "That was pretty shit," and I'll go, "Yeah, it was. You're right." But we're always complimenting each other when we're on stage together. But it's none of this toxic fucking my partner's which I'm so
Yeah.
over it. Like, have a fucking brain of your own, you know?
Yeah.
And my thing was, so with James, I watched it and I watched him with Maddie and I watched the way he treated Maddie and there was no demands. It was just there, you know. So I've always had a lot of time for that family and we're friends, you know.
Yeah.
And I just hear things and I just go, "What are you talking about?" from other people. And he just was incredible. So that's what we did on Saturday night. We went out to a pub in Brunswick and we watched Jackson. And Jackson's gorgeous as well.
Yeah.
Like he's just super funny. Jackson would be great on television. He's just super funny. And we've had him on our show as well, remember? It was the 10 years anniversary of James's
of course.
death.
Yeah.
So
I was
do you want to
thinking
check
of
that
Jackson
out,
the other
guys?
day.
Yeah.
Remember Harry and Jackson used to love my impression of fucking Gandalf? They used to get me to do it at Cherry Bar and
Oh
stuff
my
like that all the
God.
time. They've got
They ask
got
about
a really
you, babe.
great sense of humour.
Yeah,
Oh,
Harrison
that's
asked
nice of
about
them.
you and he went, "How's Jay? Are you still seeing Jay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's in my band and we do a podcast." And he goes, "Oh my God, that's great." You know, so they're just
awesome.
a good family.
Good on them.
Oh God, they're just really dry, but really amazing.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like James Freud, he hung out with the real thing. Like he hung out with Michael Hutchence and Jimmy Barnes and
Gary
stuff like
Newman.
that. You know what I mean? Like I just think birds of a feather flock together. He was hanging out with, you know, people of that echelon, not the ones that are sort of like bouncing along the bottom. You know what I mean? And like,
right, yeah.
You think of sort of Australian musos of that era, and they're like vastly, vastly different from each other. There are some that are like beautiful, like James, and others that like you wouldn't fucking trust them. You wouldn't turn your back on them.
No, that's
you know?
right. No. Nah. Absolutely.
Anyway.
So have we finished with Shannen? We love
We've
you, Shannen.
finished with Shannen, even though we've sort of gone off on tangents again. We've
Yeah,
finished.
but we
We know
thought that
how
would happen.
amazing. Go and watch the shows, guys, if you want to
Yeah.
see how incredible. If you need
it's
a
a
reminder,
real loss. It's
yeah,
a real
it
loss.
really is.
Let's have a quick look at Richard Simmons. How did you feel about Richard Simmons?
That was sad too, just because he was just such a figure of fun. You know what I mean? It was just I think I kind of feel like he died a bit of a unfortunate, lonely old person's death as well. Like how he died, he sort of he fell down and bumped his head, and then like his housekeeper was really encouraging him to go to hospital, and he was like, no, I'll go on the weekend when I've got time and everything. And then like it ended up the injury that he sustained killed him, you know. It was like a really kind of sad, lonely death. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Let's
A
have a
shame.
look at Richard in action. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, fire.
Side, inhale up. Oh yeah, let me turn you upside down, all the way. Oh, get ready to dance and round, and front. Take it back, and back, and back, and back. Take it upside down. You'll learn it out and out now. In, take it up. And again, roll it, get those shoulders going and pull. And out and in. Round and round. Here we go. 1, 2. Open, close, open. Huh. Open. Here we go. And again. 1, 2, 3. Oh. And go. And 1 and 2. Nice and tall. And take it back. 1, 2, 3. Here and again. Round it and pull it out. In. You're warming up. Warm it all up. And again. Round. Pull it out.
Pull it out.
Just such a massive sort of larger than life character, and this is how he sort of rose to fame because of the personality. He was so huge.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if you're so out there and you've got this thing happening where you're encouraging people and you're doing something, it's very hard to do this stuff where you're actually screaming stuff on the spot and trying to be a little bit funny but inspiring people to move their body.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he just spoke like that all the time, you know?
He was really amped up. Like that was him. Like really fucking amped up. I think he sort of like did a lot of his he grew up basically in LA, and I think just the power of his personality. He was always sort of interested in fitness. He had been sort of obese when he was younger, and you know, was like interested in sort of fitness and losing weight and all of that kind of thing. Right at a time where fitness videos were really huge. The reason why he stood out is because other fitness videos, they were all sort of already gorgeous. Like they were already hot, like, you know, the hottest people ever doing sort of fitness videos. He wasn't. That was his point of difference, is like he was just a
100%.
normal dude. Yeah. So America loved him.
Well, that's right, because it's always great to see someone that you can relate to. And he's this loud, flamboyant person.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit sad how that just sort of happened, you know, straight up. Like, where did that come from?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Very
Next one
sad.
we're going to look
Such a
at
shame.
is Benji from Elf. I've got a little clip here from Benji. Now, Benji was a sad death as well. What was with the dog? He had a dog.
That kid.
Medical dog or something?
Oh, did he? I always thought that kid might have had medical issues.
Yeah, because some of the times he doesn't say too much in Elf, but he was in Punky Brewster and the A-Team as well.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
So here we go. Let's have a listen to Benji in action.
What are you guys doing?
It's a magic trick we just saw on TV.
It's called a 2-layer pineapple surprise cake in a sun hat trick.
With Mom's sun hat?
We couldn't find Willie's. And now, without further ado, a pinch of yeast and 2 eggs. 1, 2.
Does Mom know you're using her sun hat?
Silence, please! With the young man with the freckles and the overbite, please mix the ingredients.
She doesn't know, does she?
I'm running this trick on a need-to-know basis.
Is it done?
Perfect! Now cover the hat with the plate as I say the magic words. Hocus, pocus, Betty Crocus.
Cute kid.
Very
What a
cute.
great
and I
show.
mean, yeah, really great show. He was central to that show. Like it was basically, you know, you had a puppet basically and the kid was his best friend. The kid was the lead character of this show without you actually realizing, you know what I mean? Like he was really the sort of lead actor of this show. And it all had to do with just how vulnerable he was and like the beautiful relationship between him and Elf, you know?
Yeah, that's right. It was a great show. You just
Yeah, it
don't
really
see
was. I
shows
loved it.
like that anymore.
Nah, I loved it as a kid. My brothers hated it. It was sort of like too sort of scripted for them, you know. They were rough around the edges at the time. I loved the wholesomeness of it as a little kid.
Yeah, I know. It was amazing. I might have been
Yeah.
a little bit old for it, but Maddie loved it. And you can also
Yeah.
get that somewhere streaming, which is awesome. Have a look
Yeah,
at his
yeah.
work. But I think he gave up on acting and just left
He
it.
did. Very prolific as a younger guy, same like Shannen Doherty, like did countless sort of bit parts in shows growing up and you know, learning his craft and all of that was really had his face everywhere. He was in The Twilight Zone, TJ Hooker, Murphy Brown, heaps of stuff, you know. So
Yeah, right.
yeah.
That's right. He was too.
Very sad death as well. Him and his service dog died of heat stroke in the car, and I think
Yeah.
they sort of fell asleep in the car, and then sort of died of heat stroke in their sleep. Very sad.
Wow.
Mm.
And there was your old mate that passed away as well.
So on the same day, actually, it was the same day as Shannen Doherty and Richard Simmons. But Shelley Duvall died a couple of days earlier on the 11th, I believe. Shelley Duvall, you would know from The Shining. Now we're sort of running out of time tonight. We're not going to talk about Shelley Duvall, but I do encourage you to go and watch The Shining. She is amazing in that. I guess you come away from The Shining really only remembering Jack Nicholson because it was like just him exploding within his career as an actor and being so brilliant. She is incredible as well. She is amazing as well. She had a very sort of brittle, vulnerable personality. And it's something that she used to like get cast upon, like how actually she was like a damsel in distress. You know what I mean? She was very, very soft and very kind. And you'll see as well in Popeye that she did in 1980 with Robin Williams. She was amazing. She played Olive Oil in that. Two great roles.
I
that you
love
can go
Olive
out and
Oil.
watch. Yeah.
She was
It's
so
a
good
great
at that.
role.
Such a perfect cast member for Olive Oil.
And I always
She almost
forget
looked
that
like
that-
her.
Yeah, she did. She looked like her so much. I always forget that one, that's Robin Williams because he had sort of like a lot of character makeup and stuff. And two, that it was directed by Robert Altman as well. That was a Robert Altman film. So worth a look, guys, to go and check out Shelley Duvall while you're watching Shannen Doherty and all this other material that we've suggested.
Yeah.
Go and check it out.
And you will notice the difference with the times, not just the fashion and the hair, just because that what she said in that Heathers thing was big fun of fags, right? Big fun was
Yeah.
a band.
Yeah,
and you
that's
couldn't do
right.
that now.
No
But-
way.
Like, and who cares at the end of the day? But it was interesting. Even the language is different everywhere, you know. And I
Gotcha.
think that's why we're getting a little bit out of control because no one's accountable. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't do that. You did that. you
Yeah.
did- And it's like, yeah, but what about this issue? You're an idiot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. So there's heaps. We've given them heaps of ideas to watch for the next week until we're off.
We have. We have. You'll be on streaming services for ages, guys.
Yeah, well, that's right. And it's wintry. But we do want you to come out this Friday night at the Beaconsfield Club. There's only 25 tickets left. and you can come out and watch Rewind 80s Band. It's going to be a ripper.
And then we're playing a private party on
We are-
Saturday night. You can't come to that.
You can't come to that, and that's in Brighton. So that's going to be incredible as well. So
I love winter gigs.
I love winter gigs too. We've had a good winter, which is interesting because the
Yeah.
last couple weren't that great. But yeah, look, now we've just announced the Alex Theatre in St Kilda, guys, near the George Hotel. Beautiful theatre. Went in for a meeting last Monday. Didn't want to do another theatre this year, but it was too good to not take up because it's really, really good. But we need you to buy tickets. That'd be amazing if you could at the Alex Theatre.
We should
September the 14th.
We should do How Soon Is Now for that
I
one.
think we should.
It's very St Kilda.
Yeah, very St Kilda. The show will be very St Kilda, and it's a beautiful theatre.
Very bats in space.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we've got to get onto that. I do want to do some acting and some storytelling. I'm desperate to do that at the moment because
I'm just helping a guy that is trying to break into acting at the moment. I had a discussion with him before we did the show. A young guy who's just sort of breaking into it. He lives just down the road here and has just been signed up to an agent. He's really excited. The agent's really excited. So I'm going to sort of do acting lessons with this guy and help him put his show reel together. And yeah, I love it when, you know, people are at the beginning of their career.
so
and,
exciting. Yeah.
You know, developing stuff. Very
Yeah.
exciting.
I'm at a crossroads
Awesome.
with that sort of stuff at the moment as well because I've been getting a lot of Rewind 80s band gigs. A lot of the venue owners that can't have Rewind 80s again for another 6 months are like, what else you got? What else can you give us? And it's like, oh, am I going to be an agent already? What am I going to do? Am I going to do that? Am I going to not take up the opportunity? Is it an opportunity? And it's like, oh, you know, but you get to this stage in your life where you've just got to go with the flow. Really interesting when you do find something that you probably thought you weren't going to do 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. I feel like we're all on the cusp of some big creative
Yeah.
turn. You know, I really feel
Oh,
it.
we are.
I'm really,
100%.
really itching to do a film. I've been putting my
Yeah.
feelers out for months now and, you know, really excited to sort of do something dramatic coming up. So interesting. We'll watch this space anyway.
Nice yellow mic lead.
Oh, thank you very much.
I just noticed your mic lead.
It's only like a meter long. I think you've never seen it because it's just for home because it's only like a meter
Right.
long. You know when you buy
I
a mic
love
lead
it.
and you don't read the packet and it says a meter and you don't read that
yeah,
until you
and you
get
think
home.
it's 3 meters. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And I bought it because it was
Because
yellow
we're singers,
because I
we
thought
don't give a shit. That's why.
yeah, exactly right. Quickly run into the shop and fucking out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
lead, this one. Good on you guys. Thank you for listening to the show. That's our show. Please
It
like,
is.
share, rate, and review. Become a subscriber. It's the best thing that you can do to really push us up the charts. Charts have been fantastic lately, so let's go even further. Give us a review on whatever platform you listen to us on. And yeah, like I just said, become a subscriber.
Yeah, we have had a few guys, and when Jay's in the band room, we're going to read them all out. I'm going to collect them all together, and we're going to read them all out. We've had some amazing reviews and stuff like that, and hi, how you going, and love the show. And we haven't forgotten. It's just we'd rather be in the band room and tell you how much we love you.
Exactly right. And please, why don't you inbox us with your phone number and we'll give you a call and get you on the show, guys. We'd
Why
love
not?
it.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll have a show, like Simon said, where they can ring in at a certain time, like Talkback Radio. I thought that was a great
Yeah,
idea.
100%. That'd be fantastic. Really good idea. Because everybody's got a different perspective of the 80s and I'd love to hear your stories and your anecdotes. That'd be incredible.
Absolutely.
Good on you guys. Become a Patreon for the 80s montage. What's the address, Sammy?
It's patreon.com/the 80s Montage Podcast. $2 Australian to keep the lights on, $15 Aussie for a monthly subscription, which gets you extra shows.
Awesome, guys. Good on you. Thank you very much. Let's say it once again. Vale Shannen Doherty, Vale Richard Simmons, Shelley Duvall and Benji from Elf. Gone but not forgotten.
No.
Immortalised. If it's music mateys,
Or cool shit from the 80s.
we're going to talk about it.
Unreal.